Thank you very much for joining us for another exciting edition of the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV. My name is Makokwa Kozi. This is a program that comes to you every Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at exactly 12 hours. We start with our midday news, and today we are going to be starting with the Emerging Stories segment. Now, on this segment, this is a segment that gives you stories that are emerging, stories that are happening right now, and those are the stories that we'll be giving you. Now, remember that we are live on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Those are the channels you can catch us on, and if you are watching us from Facebook, then you are using the Camnet TV page to catch us live and clear. You can also give us your questions and contributions on that particular page. Just go to the comment section of this particular broadcast and then leave your questions and contributions. We'll be more than happy to have a look at what we are discussing this particular morning. Later on the program, we are going to be featuring Mr. Michael Chuzu, who is from the UPND Secretary General's office, to come and discuss issues relating to the administration of the UPND for the past 2 years. Now, that will be later on on the program, and you have an opportunity to call us or to send your messages to the numbers that will be given, or rather you can send those messages on our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV on Facebook. Also, we are live on our YouTube channel, which is also Camnet TV. So those are the platforms you can catch us on. But for now, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be getting into our first segment.
Tonight, 14th August 2023, on National Matters, join Patrick Soko with his guest, Honorable Winter Kavimba, Economic Front Party President.
To see from the UPND is, can you fulfill your campaign promises?
As they discuss governance reflections of the UPND government's 2 years in office.
Invite others to participate through phoning, on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. This is the Lunchtime Cafe on Camnet TV, and we are happy that you have chosen to watch this particular program as you are having your delicious lunch. Now, let's start the program with some of the stories that happened a few years back. Now, this is a segment that we call the Forgotten Stories segment, just to remind us of where we are coming from and what we used to happen in those particular years. Now, today we are going to show you some stories from the year 2020 and 2021, just to remind you of what was happening in those days. Let's have a look at this.
The commencement of an exercise regarding the issuance of national registration cards in all parts of the country has sparked debate among Zambians. One of them is an allegation that the Patriotic Front government, through the Ministry of Home Affairs, has been issuing threats against citizens who are demanding transparency and accountability regarding the registration process. United Party for National Development chairman of Mines, Percy Chanda, who suspects that PF could have something it is hiding. Otherwise, why could it be verbally harassing citizens on this matter? Questions the government why people are being treated like animals in a zoo. Mr. Chanda highlights similar incidences of harassment Zambians received when they tried to seek justice.
Of late, PF has been threatening people for demanding transparency and accountability in the issuance of national registration cards.
He has further urged government leaders to avoid hiding in the name of commissioning projects, charging that way Zambians are being put on the risk of COVID-19.
The PF regime has taken away freedom of speech and assembly from Zambians who are now living in fear. Each time Zambians want to engage government over any national issue, the PF regime responds with threats of arrests and breaking bonds.
However, efforts to get a comment from the PF officials and the Home Affairs Ministry proved futile by broadcast time as their phones went unanswered. Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga. The controversial mobile national registration card exercise has continued to spark debate among various political players, especially in the way it has been emphasized by the country's Home Affairs Ministry. Various warnings have been issued against those who do not qualify in this exercise. For instance, some officials in the country's largest opposition political party, the United Party for National Development, are condemning the method used and the punishment lying ahead towards the perpetrators during the issuance of the NRCs. However, the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, implores all political players to desist from politicizing everything.
We want to call on citizens also that getting national registration is not a political undertaking. It is a governance matter. What we mean by that is simple, is that, you see, it has got nothing to do with politics. Others just have to have that NRC for them to access governance services. At the time of a national crisis like the COVID crisis which we are facing, that is a time when people are united in trying to resolve the problem. This is not the time for politicking.
YALI President Andrew Ntewewe commends the exercise as he feels it will give fair and equal coverage to all qualified Zambians. Meanwhile, Mr. Ntewewe says he has noted several concerns alleging that some government officials are risking the nation of the COVID-19 or in the name of commissioning developmental projects. He further says COVID-19 is there to stay, just like HIV and other diseases, hence the need for development to continue as opposed to allowing the nation to die of hunger.
As a Young African Leaders Initiative, we wish to put it on record that we are happy that the Ministry of Home Affairs has begun embarking on the exercise to give the Zambian people NRCs. In particular, you want to understand that the Zambian law is very clear that once somebody has attained the age of 16, they are supposed to get their NRCs. But in particular, we are excited about this exercise because not only are we talking about the citizens getting their registration cards, but also we are looking at it in terms of preparation for the 2021 elections.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
Yeah, brackets. Clap for him.
They say education is the key to success. Well, some community schools in Zambia are really trying to ensure that that key is given to the vulnerable children. This is Maziopa Community School, situated in Maziopa area of Lusaka province. The school accommodates 724 students who are vulnerable. Many community schools in Zambia suffer a number of challenges such as lack of good infrastructure, well-trained teachers and support from government. One would wonder just how possible it is to find such a school with poor infrastructure, with pupils learning in dilapidated buildings right in the heart of Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. This is Frank Kaonga, the founder of the community school.
Used to eat. Not only that, with this pandemic diseases, as you know, most of these teachers, some of them, they finished grade 12. They don't have money even to get their certificates where they were. Not only that, also, our aim is to put them busy. Rather than someone completed school, grade 12 or colleges, is there to involve in abuse things or drug abuse.
It is encouraging to see a few individuals striving to ensure others access education despite the challenges they are facing, such as lack of salaries. Livia Mpandela, a teacher at this school, tells Camnet TV she hopes the Ministry of General Education looks at the plight of community schools in Zambia.
Here I do service training. I'm a voluntary teacher, kind of like. Yes, I teach grade 7s, I teach grade 9s. So we go through some of the challenges. We have financial challenges mostly, and sometimes we find that we fail to buy chalk or chalks. We fail to buy chalks due to finances, because not everyone, considering that the community and where we are, it's a kind of a challenge for the parents to contribute. Yes, so we have to buy chalks, and also sometimes we are even having troubles desks where kids can sit.
This school also gives accommodation to students in examination classes such as grade 7s, 9 and 12. As you can see, this is where they lay their heads. However, food is a problem.
You can see, we need people to come in the boat. A child, how can he feed to this food, as you can see? So we need someone who can come up at least to help us. Or if us as teachers, even some of the children, they are big. If it's a piecework we can be doing during Saturdays, we are able to do that. Saturday we are able to do that piecework so that at least we buy the food for these children. Because my fellow servants, we are so geared to stand to help the government.
Frank Kaonga also touched on the issue of the Teaching Council of Zambia planning to prosecute teachers who are not certified by the council. He pleads they don't go ahead with this, as it will adversely affect community schools because most of them are just volunteers. Despite all the challenges they face, they still find time to embrace the Zambian culture, which brings the best out of them. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
We wish to express our deep concern and dismay with the ECZ's failure to comply with the electoral procedure as stipulated under the Electoral Process Act number 35 of 2016, which compels them to make public and announce election results within a period of 72 hours from the time the polls close. This is what the law requires. We wish to remind the ECZ that this conduct is illegal and violates their own electoral processes, as well as injuring the spirit of the Constitution and the aspirations of the people of Zambia.
Talk about this, talk about it. You have lost. You have lost these elections. We have won. We have the results. You have the results. We know, you know, we know that we have won. So just get on with it. Announce and we move on. You know, I sympathize when they say, no, President Lungu is not conceding.
The preliminary results being announced by the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ show that the race to State House was between the Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development, UPND, but the Reds are ahead. The remaining 14 political parties have been conceding defeat and congratulating the UPND alliance for the victory. Some of the candidates who have publicly conceded defeat include Movement for Multi-Party Democracy leader Dr. Nevas Mumba, Fred Membe of the Socialist Party, National Restoration Party leader NAREP Stephen Nyelenda, and Patriots for Economic Progress President Sean Tembo, among others. The latest to join the list was the Leadership Movement presidential candidate Richard Sulumbe.
Victorious, and I take this privilege to thank and also congratulate Mr. Hakainde Hichilema for being the next president of this country. He has won this election, and we want to ensure that we secure a free and fair election. We don't want anything to happen. We have seen the PVTs, and we are very hopeful that we need to transform from this point to a peaceful future. We are all opportunistic, and we are seeing that the future is bright. We are hopeful, and we are very optimistic that the future is going to be bright. Zambians have spoken. We have seen what has been happening. Zambians have spoken in their ballot that they are not happy with what was going on, and they have delivered a verdict. Zambians are saying no to corruption. Zambians are saying no to greed and no to poverty.
And New Heritage Party presidential candidate Chishala Kateka also considered defeat, but she's however happy with the performance of her party.
We are quite encouraged by the results that we have had as New Heritage Party. We have a lot of support. Unfortunately, this particular election was one where people were really trying to do something. You know, they were telling their story through the ballot, so they were voting more for someone else rather than voting against us. However, we are not discouraged, and I would like to encourage more women. I know that there have been a lot of casualties in this election, but it's not the end of the world. Let's work together. It's not an impossible task, and people can achieve.
The electoral body is yet to finalize the announcing of results. For now, we can only wait and see the outcome. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The message coming is clear, and that is for the Zambians to remain calm and patient as they wait for the tallying of votes. Speaking during a joint press briefing held in Lusaka, the African Union, the COMESA, Election Observer Mission, and the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region Observer Mission to Zambia have commended the Zambian people for their enthusiasm by coming out in numbers to cast their vote, and further called on the Zambian people to be patient. African Union head of the Election Observer Mission, His Excellency Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, in his recommendations to the Zambian people, urged government to address underlying factors of increasing tension and politically motivated violence.
The mission observers reported that election day operations were conducted in a peaceful, transparent, and professional manner. The mission commended the people of Zambia for their clear enthusiasm and determination to peacefully express their will through the ballot box. The mission calls on all stakeholders to remain peaceful and calm while awaiting the announcement of the final results by the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
And speaking during the same briefing, head of the Observer Mission International Conference on Great Lakes Region, Ambassador Agostinho Tavares, in his submissions, says the ECZ should consider increasing the number of polling stations to facilitate smoother voting processes and prevent the formation of long and slow-moving queues.
There should time owing to people who were still in the queue and allowed to cast their vote. Based on its preliminary findings made up to the conclusion of vote counting at polling station observed, the ICGLR concludes that the high number of Zambians used the opportunity they were given to exercise their right to vote in a peaceful atmosphere, notwithstanding localizing incidents of political violence and unlevel political playing field.
And head of the COMESA Election Observer Mission to Zambia, Ambassador Ashraf Rashad, says it's too premature to label the election as free and fair, as the tallying of election results is still underway, though positive observations have so far been recorded.
Deny this. There are challenges. Yes, of course, there are challenges. Is the election credible? To a great extent, it has credibility, I have to say, Your Excellency. But let's wait until the process is complete. I think the real element now is to look forward to the final results. And as I think His Excellency has mentioned, I'm sure the Ambassador and myself joining in calling on all really the stakeholders to restrain at this period and to really accept or respect the will of the people. And if there are disputes, and there can be disputes, there is a legal course to follow.
The 3 international observer missions are scheduled to further give consolidated findings after the announcement of the official results by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, Camnet TV News in Lusaka. Amidst the anxiety of waiting for the results, Patriotic Front President Dr. Edgar Lungu has declared the 12th August general elections as unfair and not free. He says the Patriotic Front polling agents were brutalized and chased from polling stations, a situation that left the ruling party's votes unprotected in the 3 provinces, namely Western, Southern and Northwestern Province. He further cited in a statement made available to the media the killing of party chairman in Northwestern Province during voting and the death of another man, adding that these criminal acts rendered the general election not free and fair. Surprisingly, on the 12th of August, UPND Alliance acting spokesperson Tabo Kawana said the Patriotic Front had intentions of doing so in order to bring confusion to the electoral process.
We are aware that, number one, they want to claim that their polling agents and election staff in Southern Province were chased from the poll centers by UPND members, and therefore we are not party to the election. We want to put it clear and on record that that is not correct information. It is a lie. And what they want to try and introduce, or what they want to try and bring about, in Southern Province, their people were chased. Therefore, the rest of the country, the people should now chase the UPND Alliance staff, UPND Alliance people doing elections and so on. They are trying to create a problem so that you have got violence sparking, so that, for example, people in Wapula will now say, you people were chasing our people from Southern Province. We are also chasing you from here.
Meanwhile, the African Union observers say they had observed the presence of both the PF and the UPND party agents in all polling stations they visited. And Christians Monitoring Group, CCMG, in their independent briefing also highlighted that they had not recorded any monitors having been chased away in polling stations across the country.
The presence of the PF and the UPND party agents was observed in all polling stations visited, while some for Socialist Party and independent candidates were seen in a few stations. The mission noted and reported a high number of monitors in all polling stations. They also reported the results sheets were posted outside of the polling stations, and party candidate agents were provided with copies.
Even the report of a monitor being chased from a polling station. And sample, professional, something, and very ethical, and it abides to international standards. So according to monitors, we've never gotten a report of anyone being chased.
Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has maintained that it is poised for a sound victory in Thursday's general election. Party spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa has hailed the media for playing a significant role in delivering their message to the people of Zambia. Mr. Mwetwa also thanked the electorates for the support, saying as a part they will seek to meet their aspirations. He says they want to work on the economy, fight corruption, and reunite the country as opposed to revenging against the Patriotic Front.
And the next president of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, that there is no need to worry. There will be no political retribution in the like manner PF exacted on the MMD in 2011. It won't happen. It won't happen. We want to restore order in the country. We want to restore decency in the country. We want to restore freedom in the country. We want the banner and motto of One Zambia, One Nation once more to carry meaning.
And Mr. Mwetwa told the press that cadres will not be allowed in markets and bus stations.
To end the culture where those who are supporting a political party and are loosely called cadres think that when a party forms government, they are government themselves. That must come to an end and will come to an end. Now, someone will be saying, but it's us who are supporting you. Yes, that is very true. But the alliance intends to empower youth in a more meaningful and decent manner.
And he has cautioned citizens against celebrating recklessly.
We want to be tarnished with blood because we detest to see blood as Zambians. The same way we were not happy to see Gracia Matapa being killed, Mapenzi Chibulo being killed. It's a number of people. Saman Sama killed, Joseph Kaunda killed by police. All those instances are abhorrent. And as Zambians, we just used to see them from a distance on TV. We want to go back to that Zambia where such atrocious criminal acts, we can only see them on TV in other countries, not in Zambia.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.